It's now time for the Lee County Yellow Jackets Coaches Show with head coach Steve Bordeaux. We now take you to Keith Womack, your host for tonight's program.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Yellow Jacket Coaches Show with Lee County head coach Steve Bordeaux. I'm John Hockaday, sitting in for Keith Womack tonight, and we're going to discuss the Yellow Jackets' recent win over Scotland County, as well as the upcoming game this Friday night with Southern Lee. Our Coaches Show each week brought to you by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Domino's, by Farm Bureau Tramway, by Sheriff Tracy Carter, by Fix-It Plumbing, Jones Printing Company, and Brick Capital Video. These sponsors bring you our show every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and of course we'll rebroadcast once again 6:30, 1 hour before game time this Friday night. We're going to take a short break, hear from our great sponsors, and we'll be right back to talk with head coach Steve Bordeaux right after this.
Coaches Show sponsors: Wilkinson Chevrolet, Domino's, Farm Bureau Tramway, Sheriff Tracy Carter, Fix-It Plumbing, Jones Printing Company, Brick Capital Video.
And we do welcome you back to the Lee County Coaches Show. John Hockaday here with head coach Steve Bordeaux. And first off, Coach, congratulations. What a great win. Getting back into the old conference with some of these southeastern schools. And the first time we're hosting one of those teams. And I thought a great crowd at Paul Gay Stadium this past Friday night. And what a great game.
Yeah, it was an outstanding game. As a coach, it was fun. I know the players enjoyed it. And I'm sure anybody that was there will remember that game for a long time.
Well, the game started off, we thought the scoring was going to be 80-70 for a minute there, but Scotland came out of the gates really strong, 21-21, really just barely into the second quarter, and things changed really at that point. The defenses seemed to get a little better, but let's talk a little bit about that first half. Scotland really, I thought, moved the ball at will. The Jackets with some huge, big plays.
Yeah, I think the first two series, they definitely just moved the ball right down on us, and it really wasn't much different than we were expecting to see and much different than we had planned for. They were just doing a better job of doing what they wanted to do versus us doing, executing on defense. The third series, I felt like we had them kind of figured out. Our guys were seeing what needed. They still finished that series, and from then on, I felt like we did a really good job on defense.
Coach, I know you had some challenges. Jeremiah Phillips not playing, T.J. Johnson not playing. You brought some new players up from the junior varsity and tried to fill in some gaps. Let's talk about some of those guys that defensively were getting their feet wet against Scotland County and really survived, and I thought did a great job.
Yeah, so throughout that game, we ended up starting 4 sophomores, 2 on offense. BJ has been playing. Isaiah Peoples steps up and plays some slot for us on defense. Prince Lamison and Io playing linebacker, which he's been in for a few games now. And Isaiah McKendall steps in and plays a lot of linebacker. So five sophomores playing a whole lot. It was great to see those guys not only play, but they played really well in spurts. So it's exciting to see young guys doing that.
The defense certainly had a challenge with the run game of Scotland, and we were talking just before we came on the air about the time of possession. I don't think I've ever seen a time of possession where it was 33 minutes to 15 minutes in a 48-minute game. But the Lee County defense on the field 33 minutes during that game. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I hope that goes to us, having a lot of guys that are playing, able to keep some guys fresh and rotating in. Our coaches did a great job of rotating guys in key spots to keep us fresh and keep us making through it. But I think, look, on the other side, I would like us to have more of an even, balanced time of possession. But our offense was being explosive when we did have the ball, so that kind of changes, gives the ball back to the team just as quickly, though.
Well, let's go through the game a little bit. Of course, Scotland County got on the board first with a 6-yard run, and then on the second play of Lee County's first possession, Tyreek McKendall took it to the house.
Yeah, it was a good fake by Will. Obviously, they're going to BJ on the fake, and Tyreek catches the tunnel as he's caught quite a few of them on his 4 years, and the offensive line did a great job of getting out front and springing that thing. And once Tyreek hits through that first level, everybody's got to hold on because, one, he can roll, and two, he's a big boy for a secondary guy to take down.
Scotland came right back with a 15-yard run to go at 14-7, and then kicked off. And one of those little pooch kicks that you love to cover well and have no run back, but B.J. Brown went 72 yards.
Yeah, we had it set up kind of how we wanted. We had a good idea that's where the ball was going to go, and they kind of kicked it where we wanted to. And the guys made a block or two, and B.J. made a guy or two miss. And so it was quite a run back.
The third possession for Scotland, they did score again. I thought the Jacket defense started to do some things a little bit better, but I guess it was 3rd and 20 or 3rd and 18 or something like that. And, yeah, it was a long one, but they score on the pass there.
Yeah, we had them. We're really in a situation where we're forcing a long field goal or maybe an interception or something on that series, but their guy made a good play. We're in good position, and they made the play on that one.
Lee County again came right back, and of course this was into the second quarter as we finished actually 21-14 there at the first quarter, but the Jackets got the first points in the second quarter. Kendall Morris, boy, he fought hard to get that 10 yards.
Yes, he did. So BJ had a really long run that got us down to the 10, and then Kendall finished it off for us. The offensive line, I thought, was one of our best played games up front so far this year, so it's great to see us as we're getting later in the season continue to get better there. And we're playing 6, 7, 8 guys up front. So it's just fun to see all these guys being successful.
Well, to this point, it's been punch and counterpunch, and we're tied at 21. I thought a great drive by Scotland to get down. They got it to the 13-yard line, I think, kicked, or whatever it was, the 10-yard line, and kicked a 27-yarder to go up with 19 seconds to go in the half. And of course, Lee County got a break with the penalty on the kickoff, but then a nice run by B.J. Brown, and a big-time kick, I thought, by Kennedy Hernandez.
Yeah, that was a tremendous kick. We got it down there and gave us a chance right there in the range of, we see Kennedy make this kick in practice, and we'll get good blocking, good snap, good hold, and Kennedy pumped it through. The series before when they made their field goal, they ended up having the ball inside the 10, and Io makes a big play in the backfield that kind of forces them to kick a field goal. I thought we had them off the field twice on that series. Once was a roughing the kicker penalty that was kind of questionable. The same series when they missed the ball touching the Scotland player's hand. So that was a well-earned field goal, I guess I'd say.
Well, that tied things up at the half, and I thought Lee County had some momentum going into the locker room with that field goal, and of course Lee County came back out. Neither team moved the ball that first possession, but then B.J. Brown breaks it from 49 yards. What a beautiful run that was!
Yeah, B.J. One, it was a good fake by Kendall. Some guys running to him, and offensive line gets the first level guys blocked. And then B.J. makes 2 or 3 guys miss about 12 to 15 yards into the run, and then he finishes the other 49 yards. So that was an outstanding run.
That score, if I'm not mistaken, came in about the 4-minute mark of the third quarter, and then with 5 minutes to go in the in the ball game, Scotland gets a 12-yard run from the quarterback. Ravel ties the ball game up and actually gets the ball back. And at this point, we're just hoping overtime, and all of a sudden, what a huge big-time play from Tyreek McKendall.
Yeah, so I thought when we got the ball back the series before this, we were at the 40-some yard line. We needed another first down or two to watch Kennedy kick his game-winning kick. We end up the offensive coordinator, made a bad call, and they got a turnover on us. Luckily, our defense come right back and was in great position, and Tyreek, catches that ball. And watching the play, there's so many guys giving such great effort to make that play work. Obviously Tyreek caught the ball and got the first 20 yards by himself, and then every one of those guys that's on the field with him was trying to make sure he got in the end zone. So that was definitely a team interception return.
One thing that I noticed on that run back, because I was trying to see who was doing the blocking, I kept watching it over and over, and I thought one of the best things done on that play was Mark Schlesinger got in a position where it would have been very easy for him to get a block in the back call. He actually turned his back and almost blocked with his back for right when Tyreek was going by. That was because that play could have easily come back, but I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, it was just great effort and kids being smart to understand the situation. Once we got the interception and he gets 15 yards, we're already close to field goal range, and then at that point it's Tyreek get the corner, and Kenyon and a couple other guys as lead blocking. That was a crazy play.
Well, I think the neatest thing about that play was Tyreek certainly enjoyed that touchdown, but I think there was 38 or 40 others running down the sideline that were enjoying it too.
Definitely.
You are listening to the Yellow Jacket Coaches Show here with head coach Steve Bordeaux. We're going to take a break, hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Coaches Show sponsors: Wilkinson Chevrolet, Domino's, Farm Bureau Tramway, Sheriff Tracy Carter, Fix-It Plumbing, Jones Printing Company, Brick Capital Video.
And we do welcome you back to the Lee County Coaches Show with head coach Steve Bordeaux. I'm John Hockaday sitting in for Keith Womack tonight. And coach, let's take a look at the standings as we head into the final week of the season. Of course, Hope County has already finished their season. They're at 4-6 on the year, 2-4 in conference play. But right now, up top, the Richmond County Raiders 5-0 in conference play. They'll be hosting Scotland on Friday night. Pinecrest at 4-1. We'll take on Union Pines. Lee County at 3-2. We'll be on the road at Southern Lee. Scotland County right now in 4th place in the conference at 2-2. We mentioned Hope County at 2-4, right now in 5th. Union Pines at 1-3, and Southern Lee at 0-5 in conference play. But right now, Coach, Lee County 3rd place in the conference with the standings, but the number 1 seed coming out of the conference for the 3A state championship, and we're all excited about that. And that's really what we played for this past Friday night.
Yeah, that basically was the 1 seed, which secures you a playoff spot for one, and the way it'll work is it secures us some home playoff spots. So that's always big to play at home, and hopefully a fairly high seed. Seeding's less important than making it.
Well, Coach, I guess the only things that we do know about the seeds at this point, there's going to be 32 teams that will go in. 16 of them will play at home in the first round. The top 8 might get 2, or will get 2 home games, and the top 4 would get 3. And right now they've got Lee County in that number 5 area, but still a week to go, and a lot of strength of schedule figuring and all that they use, and so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, and I guess it'll be announced next Saturday.
It's usually Saturday around noon. They put the preliminary bracket out, and then an hour or two later it becomes final. Look forward to obviously seeing that, but we gotta win another game this week before we can get all the way there. But the one thing that I'm excited about is knowing that the schedule that we've played so far, I think, has put us in a situation where we've had to improve throughout the season. So I think we're still improving even to this point in the season. So hopefully that sets us up well for a playoff run.
It's time to talk about our players of the game for this past week against Scotland County, and wow, this was so difficult to pick. And the fact that one time, during the game, Keith and I will mention, hey, he's a candidate. He's doing this. He's doing this. And of course, at the halftime, we were saying, hey, let's keep Kennedy Hernandez in there. And wow. B.J. Brown's doing good. Tyreek catches just so many guys I thought did a really good job. But our Norman Financial Group offensive player of the game, B.J. Brown. Let's talk a little bit about his night, 191 yards.
Yeah. And a kickoff return. Right? So B.J. is every week. He's probably been a candidate for this, and every week B.J. gets better. And what I can appreciate from him is he goes back and not only watches the plays, the highlight plays, BJ tries to go back and find the plays he didn't do well on and figure out why. So it's exciting to see how much he's gotten better, and only a sophomore, how exciting how much better he can get.
Well, and just in having watched him as a freshman in the spring for one game, and it's amazing the improvement that he has done. The run he had, the 49-yard touchdown run, we sort of compared it to the way that the quarterback at Richmond runs. It's just he's here and then he's gone, and he's really elusive and hard to catch.
Yeah, we see it every day in practice too. So he does it to us in practice, and it's good to see a us get to have him in a jacket, helmet, and jersey on Fridays.
And of course, our defensive player of the game, and I would want to mention there was some of those guys up front on that defensive line, and we were talking about Landon Johnson a little bit earlier, and just guys that stepped up and did some good jobs. But the big play of the game came down to Tyreek McKendall as our defensive player of the game.
Yeah, Tyreek's another one that making a lot of plays, had a couple big hits coming down in the run game. Really, and one of our adjustments that we made kind of put him closer to the box to make some tackles. And just playing his butt off. But I think the good thing is, and maybe more so than some other years since I've been here, is I feel like there's always so many guys that could be a candidate for these things, which means our depth is just getting more and more, and more and more guys are contributing. And it's great just hearing so many different guys' names called every week, even though some of these guys are just going crazy.
Well, of course, the coaches also pick their player of the game, and I know you guys get together on Saturdays and look this over, and let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we went with Tyreek McKendall for the overall player of the game too, and I think it just becomes he kind of helped affecting all three phases of the game. Kennedy could have been there, BJ could have been there, Landon had a really good game, but Tyreek was part of the block that helped spring BJ on the kickoff return. He obviously returned the game-winning touchdown. He scores a touchdown on offense, making tackles, being a threat on offense. Overall, it was tough not to pick Tyreek for this one.
Well, and of course he's, I've seen him a little bit more on defense as the year has gone on, and really excited for him to get his, I think his first interception of the season this past, and he knew what to do with it when he got it.
Ain't no doubt. Once he has the ball in his hand, he definitely knows which way to go and where you get points from.
Coach, the Brick City Bowl coming up this Friday night at Southern Lee, which is our best road trip of the year. It's the shortest one. It's about 4 miles down Highway 78, and Southern's had a difficult year, but I know you guys prepare for every game the same, and let's talk a little bit about this Friday night, what you're expecting to see from Southern Lee, and what Lee County needs to do to win.
So this is being a rivalry game and being the local game close by. All these boys know each other. Everybody's mama and daddy know each other, so it's definitely the bragging rights game. And soon as we finish the Scotland victory, the boys already talk about it in the locker room. This game is exciting to them. They're going to remember it. Have bragging rights one way or the other. After the game, so they want to have that. Some of them were cousins, and there's some relatives in this thing, so it's a big thing. I've been really excited the last 2 days so far of how efficient the practices have been. Not having a JV game this week, a couple guys got the bump where they're getting to practice with us, so we got a little bit more depth, and those guys have brought a lot of energy. So this will be my fourth Brick City Bowl, third one we get to go to Southern Lee for. But,
well, this is 2 years in a row, correct?
2 years in a row.
Southern
2 years in a row. So maybe they'll give us a home one next year.
I guess the conference switch that happened with a few teams, and second consecutive trip over there. But I guess it is playoff time, and as usual, a lot of the JV players get rewarded with a boost up to the varsity, and it's an invaluable experience for these guys.
Yeah, and I felt like all the way back to when I was in high school, I remember this being an opportunity for us to. I feel like it's stealing extra reps for the future. You look at it in college when the bowl games, they get those extra 15 practices. Every chance we get to help coach these guys helps build the future. But overall, the goal is obviously we want to find a way to win the football game, but we want to be better when the final whistle blows Friday than we are right now. If we are that, we're trending in the right direction for the playoffs.
All right. You are listening to the Lee County Yellow Jacket Coaches Show. We're going to take a short break. We're going to hear from our sponsors. We'll be back with a few more words with Coach Bordeaux right after this.
Coaches Show sponsors: Wilkinson Chevrolet, Domino's, Farm Bureau Tramway, Sheriff Tracy Carter, Fix It Plumbing, Jones Printing Company, Brick Capital Video.
And we do welcome you back to the Lee County Yellow Jacket Coaches Show. John Hockaday here with head coach Steve Bordeaux. And again, Coach, congratulations on the number one seed in the Southeastern 3A, 4A conference. And or the Sandhills 3A, 4A conference, and I'm thinking back to the old days, but quite an accomplishment. I know you're proud of that, and I know you're proud of these young men that have played football this year.
Yes, sir. It's been a fun year so far, and hopefully we got 6 or 7, whatever it is, weeks left.
Well, no question. We would certainly love to have that. Of course, we'll be back on the air this coming Friday night, 6:30, as we'll replay our coaches show, and game time at 7 o'clock. We'll have our live pregame from the field. We'll have our coaches show posted on the WFJ website and our Facebook page by tomorrow at noon. Certainly invite you to watch it, share it, and we're so glad that you can take these opportunities to join us here so that when we talk about Yellow Jacket football. Also want to remind you, you can go to our website, go to sports, high school football. We've got pages with all the results, the schedules, standings, power rankings, stats, and more. So take a look at that, WFJA. Best of luck to the Jackets this Friday night as they take on Southern Lee. We thank all of our sponsors for bringing you our show tonight: Wilkinson Chevrolet, Domino's, Farm Bureau of Tramway, Sheriff Tracy Carter, Jones Printing Company, Fix It Plumbing, and Brick Capital Video. We thank all of you for listening to WFJA Sports. Get ready, Jacket fans. It's time for Yellow Jacket football.
You've been listening to the Lee County Yellow Jackets Coaches Show with head coach Steve Bordeaux and show host Keith Womack. On behalf of all the Coaches Show sponsors, we thank you for listening to tonight's program. This has been a production of WFJA and WWGP Sports.